Good evening, everybody, and welcome to round 2 of the GPVWC Formula Challenge series this evening. I'm David Carter. Alongside me, I've got a new face here in the commentary box. We've got the Super League Lights driver and MDR team owner, Jack Mayer, alongside us this evening. Jack.
Hello.
Great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks, David. It's good to be here.
So it's obviously we're just about to start qualifying in about a minute's time or so. But what a great event we had last time out in Australia. Plenty of controversy, plenty of drama in these wet conditions. But luckily got some nice, dry, consistent weather here in the daylight.
I want to interrupt you. It's actually just started to rain on server. There's actually rain on the server right now.
Wow, that's a turn up for the books, and it is raining quite hard actually, 8% intensity. So yeah, raining here in Bahrain. As soon as I say that, commentators curse once again. But I hope you're all keeping well. I'll say I've run through a few bits and pieces, probably in the warm-up session as well. But just going through the drivers' championship standings, Sven de Vries, he had the perfect evening last time out. 50 points out of 50, got the maximum total after winning 2 races out of 2. He leads by 17 points from Sam Holt. Obviously had a great debut in for the Nova Simracing team as well. Hoekstra took out P3 in standings on 25 points from George Whitehouse. Just a point behind him. He's not actually racing today, is George Whitehouse. But Alejandro Enamorado did very well in the wet conditions. He's in P5, and Mike Bell and Elias Fernandez. Team Championship, Thunderdog, 51 points from Nova, 43 points for them. Then the Sombic GPVWC Academy team actually in P4, which is quite nice to see. The Academy drivers doing well for that event. And HGB, Downforce, and RBA, or Royal Blue Academy Racing there as well, as practice now has just come to a close. But Jack, obviously difficult circuit here today for these drivers. Obviously completely different characteristics to Australia, and now with this rain coming down, it's easing slightly, but going to be a different challenge, particularly for the drivers who are new this year.
It definitely is, and obviously turn 1, heavy braking zone, lap 1's going to be definitely an interesting moment. Obviously, it always is in these series, these lower feeder series at GPVWC, but especially if it is raining, the surface down towards turn 1 is going to be carnage, you'd assume. The rest of the circuit, the middle sector, slow but difficult corners at times, and a lot of off-camber corners like turn 4. The wet conditions, if it does remain wet for the race, it's definitely going to be an interesting one for the less experienced drivers. Obviously, you've got the likes of Sven de Vries and Wopke Hoekstra, who's got a bit more experience behind them, but it's more that mid-pack and that back of the pack that we're going to have to look out for the incidents to be popping up.
We'll soon see what happens this evening. Obviously, it was a hard time for a few teams last time out as well, like Santa not having such a great event where we expected them to be doing really well. But obviously, Tom Parker for Neptune as well at the time. He's obviously, after winning the Academy race yesterday, he's now racing for Madness Racing, but he took out his team at last time out when he was driving for Neptune. So it was difficult race last time out, but expect Bahrain to be a bit more sort of a level playing field with the dry conditions as well. So the rain has now stopped for the time being. Martin Hamilton actually fastest in practice, 39.3. Just a little bit of insight. Last year, pole position time was a 40.4, set from Jonathan Holmes, who turned out obviously be the champion at the end of the season. And as a result of that, he won race 1, and Sandeep Singh won race 2 as well this time a year ago. But that was the past. This is now very much the present. And slightly wet conditions. We've got a mixture of tyre choices here as well, Jack. You'll see some people on dry tyres, some on inters, even a few guys on wets as well, to see coming out of the pits. It's going to be an interesting session, but I don't think it's wet enough at the moment to really consider anything bar the dries.
Well, it does look like the rain has eased off slightly. Obviously, anything can change, and it is early in the session. I think if it was still raining and the dries were going to use, it would be right now. You'd have to go out, but with all the traffic and everything, you could very easily lose your lap time because everyone wants to be across the line as soon as possible if the track is wet. However, like I say, the sky has cleared now, and it looks like that wet surface isn't going to be around much longer. Saying that, there are clouds cropping up all over the circuit, so I think it's pretty difficult to say for now. either way, those on the dry tyres do want to be getting their laps done as soon as possible in case the rain does come down again.
Actually, you just see as well, Mike Bell for downforce. She just sliding off the track completely as well, so he's still struggling. Hemmingson's the first car out on track. I'm pleased to say pretty much everybody now, apart from Dan Putt, has left the pits. I just see a car in the wall. It's Diomas Faros is binned into the wall. He was looking quite impressive actually last time before binning it in race 2. So he's going to look for redemption here today as well. Before we start lap times as well, I've got to say a lot of penalties carrying over. I'm not going to go through the names. Far too many, far too boring for you guys to watch home. But expect the qualifying results after the session to change quite a lot. Even like Sven de Vries got a penalty, and he's got to take 10 spaces back from where he entered in qualifying. As Martin Hemmingson now is just about to start a lap here. Jack, probably a good time for you as a man of experience around here to take us a lap around the circuit.
Right, yeah, so obviously one of the longest straights on the circuit so far. Braking about 100 metre boards, second gear corner, first in these cars, second in Super League lights. Early on the power, you want to open up the entry to this left-hander to keep it flat through the all the way up the straight. You want to get a good run. There's a tricky turn 4 I was talking about, off camber on apex. Brake just between the 50 and 100 metre board, tuck it in tight, turn it around tight. And want to get on the power early again through here. You want to straighten this S's as fast as possible. Get on the power early again down the hill. You don't want to run on this exit curve as it can spin you very quickly, and then late braking into this right hand hairpin. Very tricky, difficult corner coming up turn 9 and 10. You want to miss the first apex and brake really late and turn in early to get on the power early again down this back straight. Open up DRS down here, and you've got a bit of time to think about what you're going to do next. It's a very difficult corner as well up here. You can very easily go in way too quick, way too hot, and ruin your flow towards the end of sector 2. Get on the power early again up this hill, keep a tight line and set it up for this right hander as we enter sector 3 now. Don't want to run out wide again. It's very difficult to see the exit of this corner as you come over the top, and then tuck it in early here. Power early on the power. Don't run too much on the curb, as like I say, these exit curbs do spit the car out very quickly and they're a bit nasty up like that. Just down this, going into the final corner, brake really late, and you want to get on the power early again. You want to throw it in, get on the power out the apex, run it out wide, get a good exit, and that was a lap of the Bahrain circuit, and that was a pretty clean lap. It should be a good lap, I'd say top 5 after everyone's crossed the lines, but that's a solid lap there for Hemmingson, 43.0.
Yeah, in these damp conditions as well, you know, it's don't expect the 39s to catch straight away. I think people have to get used to the changeable conditions. Let's say that's provisional pole. For the time being, Thomas Harvey actually comes across line P2. Actually just knocked down by Whoopi Hoekstra there as well, splitting them. So it's Hemmingson from Hoekstra, from Harvey, from Guillaume Branton, from and Senny Stoff-Mill as well. That's only provisional top 5, but expect these lap times to be changing all the time as well. So Hemmingson's on for another quick lap.
I have just noticed Stephen Lexo came back into the pits on that run. He aborted that lap and is going out again, so he must have made a mistake. But that's someone we've not actually mentioned so far. Obviously, he didn't race last time out of Australia. He was racing the Super Cup Series on emergency last time out. This week he'll be racing at Formula Challenge with Nova, filling in for Isaac Morris, who couldn't be here today. But I think he's definitely one to look out for good, probably fighting for the podium in race 1. I'd say he's a very quick guy. Is definitely going to be at the front tonight, I'd say.
Definitely got that magic touch about Stephen Lexo, you know, putting a great performance out in Australia to actually lead the championship actually in Super Cup, but he's not a permanent driver, so he can race for other team as well, you know, and today he's racing for Nova. But Max Reichel actually, away from camera, he's now taken official pole, 142.7, so he's feeling really good in these sort of slightly damp off conditions as well, and that is for one of the new teams as well, actually. That is for 86 Racing as well. So that's their first time really in the limelight, you could say, this series as well. Great to see him and the team up there in that quite striking livery that they have going this year. But Guillaume Branton there, and then Sven de Vries in succession, topping the timesheets as well. And Sven de Vries there, 142.0 as well. Branton going in the low 42s as well. And Wopke Hoekstra now down into the 41s as well. So the Dutch drivers was Dutch. Wow, Sven Vries doesn't like to be known as Dutch, but it was a Dutch 1, 2, 3. Patrick Rozak goes up into P2 as well for RBA. So it's, as I say, Jack, this session's going to be evolving. The track's going to be evolving and changing all the time. Expect those times to plummet very, very quickly.
Exactly. Obviously, especially as we start on the damp circuit, it's going to be evolving a lot quicker from the start of the session to the end. Like I said, we've already dropped 1.2 seconds. If you think Martin was on pole, and now Watke's on pole on a 41.8, 1.2 seconds faster than Martin's previous time. Martin's gone out again, is on out lap. He is stuck behind a HGP car. I'm not sure who that is. That's Watke Coaster, actually, which is quite ironic. He'll probably be coming in this lap, so you'd expect Martin to make a bit of a gap, but I'm sure Martin's going to be in the top 3 at the end of all this, as long as he doesn't stuff his lap up.
Sam Holt as well goes up to P2, for Nova. Obviously, second in the championship. He's going to look to build on that brilliant debut event he had last time out. He's now into P2, but a man to watch out for, Sven de Vries, down in P4, but he's going a lot faster. He's actually now in the slipstream as well. Half car ahead of him. I think that's Branton in the RBA car as well. He's coming towards the final corner and looking really on the song here to go into provisional pole. As Branton pulls over to the side of the track, de Vries trying to get a cheeky little slipstream from him. Actually goes into pits. I'm amazed. Maybe he was running out of fuel. That's unbelievable. He was looking so much faster. He just goes into the pits, but maybe he didn't have enough fuel to go around for another lap. That's. I
think that does make sense. He did complete 2 consecutive laps just then, so he fueled up for 2 fastest laps rather than Hemmingson, who went out, done 1 lap and came straight back in. So he was running a bit heavier. Maybe he expected the wet to stay around longer, so he wanted to do a few more laps before coming in again. But either way, he's gone back straight back out. And now Hoekstra's come back in, and so is de Vries.
Just see Paul August-Lana as well. He's had a spin at the final corner. He's going back to pits. I see a couple of other cars setting fast laps, but I see Sam Holt as well. He's on a fast lap. I'm not sure where he's going to be completing lap. Stephen Lexo goes top of the timesheets for Nova as well. 141.3. He's, as you said earlier, pitted in, waiting for the track to dry out a little bit, and now back on track. And back racing as well. As I just see you've got another.
His teammate Holt's just gone 1/10 slower than him in second. So at the moment, there's a Nova 1-2. Obviously, the whole track's going to continue to evolve, and the likes of Hoekstra, de Vries, they are all going to go out again. Delara goes second for HGP.
And we've got Martin Hemmingson as well. A purple sector one. He's looking much faster here than his previous best lap. Obviously, getting used to the conditions now. As he goes into and going to end sector 2, and he's still setting purple sectors once again. He's looking very good here, and he's been on form, hasn't he? He obviously wasn't here for the first round. He's looking to make up the ground that he's missed as well. He looked good around here last year initially, but an incident in race 1 ruined his event. It's a bit of a redemption day for Martin Hemmingson as well, and he's going to say, I'm going to start my season now and start off at the right foot as he goes across the line. Wow. Look at that. 9/10 faster than Stephen Lexo. That's a stunning lap there. And actually set the same lap time as the pole time last year as well. 1 minute 40.4 as well. So expect more time to come out from the other drivers, but especially Martin Hemmingson as well. Dan Herlock goes up into P2 as well. A qualifying specialist, you could say. After the form of last year and in this year as well, actually. In Australia, he qualified really well, got taken out by Ernest Lappins in turn 1, and that ruined his event pretty much. But doing a very good job. And a man, Jack, I think, he's a Super League Lights test driver as well. I think he's just a guy you could watch out for the future.
He's definitely going to be a dark horse this season. Like, he wasn't exactly a championship contender last season, but he had some very solid and good results. Obviously, that's earned him the right to race in the series again this year, and I feel like he's going to be, with that bit of experience from last season, it's a bit early to say whether he'll be a championship contender, but he's definitely going to be up there unsettling the standard leaders, the likes of Hemmingson, which will be fighting for the championship, but Herlock will definitely be up there fighting for wins and unsettling them when he can. And so will his teammate. Amari Watson, MDR Academy driver, he's a very quick driver as well. He's going to be up there. He's on a lap now, I believe. See where he puts it. But I know he's very close to Dan Herlock, so wherever Herlock is, you can expect Watson to also be there.
Fingers crossed that's the case. I'll say Hemmingson's going around the final corner once again setting purple lap times. Sector 1, sector 2, comes across the line, kind of again annihilate his time. 39.7. Wow. That is just stunning, absolutely stunning. Herlock as well is going to go PB, but he's not going to improve on Hemingson's time, but he improves to 40.5. Max Reichel still in P3. Simon Frelick, we haven't mentioned it. He's in the GPVWC Academy car for this event. He's in P4. Actually, no, he's been knocked down a couple of places now because Amari Watson, as we just mentioned, he's up to P4 now as well.
Right behind his teammate Herlock, only 2 tenths behind. I told you they were close.
Yeah, they're literally glued together and joint by the hip. With just under 4 minutes to go, Guillaume Branton goes up to P2 as well. And we've also got Max Reichel in P7. There's Liam Rance. Not expecting him to be up to such high standings, with the greatest of respect to him, but up to P6. Great job from him and for Team Gridline as well, in that sort of lemon and lime car. Great looking car though, nonetheless. But Max Reichel's the man to look out for. He's in P8 now at the moment. Someone else just goes faster than him as well, but he gets him across the line and go up to 5th for 86E Racing as well. It was Rozak who's now come to P2 for our bit. I tell you what, Jack, we're going to struggle to keep up with this. It's very frantic stuff.
The track is evolving very quickly. Like I say, Liam Rance went up to P6, but he is actually a second off of Hemingston on pole. So that was a whole second, just the top 6. Obviously, all the fast guys, Stephen Lexo, Sam Holt, I expect to go faster as well. They're all going to keep improving. You're going to have Hoekstra down in P21 at the moment. He's on a lap. He's going to improve. Sven de Vries down in P23. All these big names down the middle and the bottom of the pack, they're all going to improve, and they're going to be the people dropping the unlikely guys out of the top 6.
And we mentioned Stephen Lexo earlier, was provisional pole. He's now in 19th place. He's really dropped down standings. That just shows how much the track's evolved. George Whitehouse had the same thing last week as well. Actually, he was provisional pole at the start of qualifying. He ended up right down the order, about 14th or 15th place. So just shows much that track involvement shows. Tom Parker's up to P3 for Madness Racing for his debut for that team as well. So doing a great job there. Tom Parker obviously won the Academy race yesterday. He's earned himself a seat at Madness Racing, I believe full time, but I'll say it's not to be confirmed. We can't actually see on the contract system whether that's the case for the time being. Thomas Harvey up into P4 as well, another MDR Academy driver doing the business here, P4. So Gridline, after a very, very rough time out in Australia, looking much sharper here today in these dry conditions, probably more to their liking as well, i.e. the track conditions and the car as well.
Yep. Everyone looks like they're coming out now for their final runs. Just 1 minute 40 seconds to go. That's about a lap here, obviously, in these cars. Anyone who wants to set up lap and isn't out already, they've missed their chance. I see Patrick Rosat is leaving the pit lane. He's not going to make it round in time. There's not really much point anyone leaving now. I'm not sure why they are, but anyway. Martin Hemmingson on an out lap. All these big names are going to be going for their final runs now, and this is where it all counts, because everyone is going to improve, and if you're not improving, you're going to lose out on it.
Stephen Lexo goes up to P2 for Nova as well. So we predicted he'd be doing well around here. He's done the job. He's doing the business for Nova Sim Racing as well. Delera's up to P8 for Hamming GP or HGP. Where's Watley Hoekstra actually compared to him as well? I think he's definitely beaten his teammate. He's right down the order actually now.
He's in the final sector though. He's finishing a lap, I believe. Coming up to the final corner.
Yes. Yes.
Sven de Vries is also fast in the middle sector right behind him. So these two are going to both pop up the standings together.
Yeah, Sven de Vries has been cycling himself up. He has been on track for a little bit. He's been maybe just waiting his time, waiting his moment, but he is going to come across the line. Very, very fast.
1,000th of a second between Hoekstra, so the top two covered by 1,000th of a second.
Wow, that is incredible. Sven de Vries, covered by half a tenth. But brilliant stuff at Martin Hemmingson. Looks like he's got provisional part. Obviously, still lap times to be coming in. 20 seconds to go. Stephen Lexo's going to be coming across the next one across the line. For Nova Sim Racing, I think he's got a chance here to get in the provisional pole, and there he goes, by over a tenth. Lexo gets the pole. Who's next? Who's going to be the next one to show their hand and bolt their way up the standings?
Teammate Sam Holt is in P9 at the moment. Is just coming into Sector 2 now. I'm not sure if he's on a lap or not. That looks like the main drivers have settled that in then. That looks like that could be the top of the grid sorted.
Yeah. Well, Lexo's done. He's escaped and he's in the pits, and so is Tom Parker. So they will not be improving, nor will Max Reichel or Tom Voss. So that's pretty much job done for them. But what about the others? What about Hemmingson?
Anywhere?
I say it may be difficult now. I say all 31 drivers have set lap times. Got Senny, Stoffmeal rounding up the grid so far. And let's see where this brings us. Hemmingson going around the just entering sector 3. But Whoopie Hoekstra is going to be the first of the contenders to finish their lap as he now,
He's gone purple in the middle sector. He's
Great
sliding
stuff.
out the final corner though. He might have lost some time there down towards the run. And yeah, he's backed out of it coming into the pits.
They're still going to be probably P4 at worst unless someone can really jump up the standings. Fender Freeze comes across the line. He's going to be next. And there he goes, official pole. Hemmingson, what can he respond with? He gets pole now as well, 39.4. Brilliant stuff. Amari Watson jumps up to P6 for Santa Motorsports as well. But look at that, Martin Hemmingson coming out cream of the crop so far. At least he's going to be pole 39.4, just under a 10th of the Freeze from Lexo. Guillaume Branton goes up to 4th position now. Brilliant stuff from the debutant. He impressed me a lot in Australia, and he continues to do so here in Bahrain. Daniel Hurlock goes up to 7th position. Harvey's up to 6th. Simon Frelick jumps into the top 10 for the Academy team as well. I think that's pretty much it. I think Peter Jones is on a quick lap as well. I think he's probably going to be the last one to set a lap time. Looks of it. He's down in P24. He rounds the final corner and he's going to go into the pits, isn't it? I think that's pretty much job done. I think Alamorado has done his laps as well. So that is, I'm going to say that is it. And Martin Hemmingson here takes pole position here. And as I said, you know, he got a lot of making up to do after missing the first round for the 2nd year in a row. And there he is. He's done the job there in P1 ahead of championship leader Spender Freeze. And I'll tell you what, Jack, I wouldn't be surprised to see these two come head to head a lot of times this year.
Oh, but yeah, well, this race alone, that is a very strong top 5, and I feel like whoever going to win this tonight, both races, it's not going to be easy for them. You've got Hemmingson, De Vries, Lexo, Branton, Hoekstra, all those up there. They're going to be fighting for that win, and they're all close to each other on pace.
So that is qualifying done and dusted. Now, don't forget there is penalties as well to take place. So, for example, like to Spender Freeze, he'll go back down 10 places. And I'm not going to go through all of them. Obviously, we'll run you through down the full grid when we get to the formation lap as well. But I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Obviously, just over 50 or so of you watching at home on our YouTube broadcast as well. And I say if you've got any questions at all about the community, how to get involved, you know, anything in general, don't be afraid to put it in the chat. And I'll say either either me and Jack can answer them, or, you know, someone in the chat got a lot of knowledge as well about GPV, they could probably answer it as well. But yeah, that has been qualifying, and I say hopefully the start of again another cracking event. I would say it was a good event last time out. Obviously, there was a lot of variables involved, but I'd say this is probably the first proper idea of where people are in the league, and I say some people are going to want to build on what they had last time out, and some people are going to maybe want to up their game and probably deserve probably a better result than they did last time out as well.
I think someone looking for a better result would be Whoopie Hoekstra. Obviously, he got P11 in race 1, but if you remember, he was fighting for the win. If I remember rightly, he was actually leading race 1.
He was mugged. Absolutely mugged.
He collided with I think it was one of the downforce cars.
It was one. It was Fairclough actually. He was no, it wasn't Fairclough. It was Bacchini, Kai Bacchini, who you spun and then in the spray book had nowhere to go but into his car. So it was really unfortunate for Whoopie Hoekstra. You know, and I felt, you know, I did feel bad for him at the time. But say that's racing. You know, day is, you know, the chance for him to make up for that. And of course, he still needs the team's reserve driver as well for the time being. But I would not be surprised if he would be a full-time driver for that team, or another FC team as well, potentially for you as well. Obviously, got a 10-minute warm-up session now. What I'm going to say now is just a few things. Next event on the GPVWC will be Super Cup next Tuesday. If you're new to GPVWC, maybe want to get involved racing, if you haven't got a contract with a team, or maybe just want to just start racing here at GPVWC for the first time, our next Academy Series race will be at Baku. It's going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? Let's face it. April the 14th. And sign-up's open now. So you go onto the website, go into sign into the GPWC.com, make an account, go to your dashboard, enter driver market, and sign into the Academy Series and submit an application for that, you'll be on the grid, or on the grid provisionally, for racing in that as well. So that will be really, I think, for the viewers in particular, a lot of people are going to be looking forward to the race at Baku as well. I'll say plenty of time to sign up. April the 14th is when that's going to happen. Another bit of news, actually. Well, not news, but I'll say a little story. I've actually come up with a little well, not game as such, but an article piece that we're going to be doing with you and Gail. Gossip column. It's a little bit of fun, but like in football, where you maybe hear rumours of players and transferring from club to club, for example. We're doing a little bit of that in the GPWC as well, and you and Gail will be posting updates on that as well. It's not to be taken too seriously as such. I don't want people getting upset about it, but I thought it'd be a good idea to, maybe just get more people involved that way as well. So you'll be hearing drivers saying, "Oh, they're unhappy, they want to leave," or maybe this team wants to sign up this driver for their reserve driver, for example. All those little bits and pieces. It's all part of the show. It's all part of the show, and that's something that we'll be starting in the not too distant future as well. If you want to get involved with that, maybe be maybe an internal source, for example, just PM me, PM you and Gail as well, and we can definitely get you into that. To be fair, I mean, it's an idea I come up with literally a couple of days ago. Ewan loves the idea. It's going to have a lot of fun with that, I think, and hopefully you guys who's involved in the community will be as well.
Basically, if someone says, "I've got some information for you," don't tell anyone. Tell us.
Pretty much. Pretty much. It's going to be good fun. So as well, but I say while we're here, Jack, as well, Jack. 7 minutes of warm to go. I think it's time for us to take a little bit of a break for a couple of minutes or so and play a few promotion videos, and be right back. So we are back, and I say just 3 minutes of warm up to go here. But I say, you know, as we got Jack here. Actually, you know, I was going to say we'll have a little chat about how things going on with MDR and the Super League Light season as well. Obviously, he had a good event first time out. Solid results to say the least. You know, both yourself and for your team as well. You know, I mean, firstly, how are you feeling about the season? Secondly, sort of say it's a good, obviously a good way to start the season. But is that something you're looking to build on, maybe improve results later on as well?
Yeah, I think as far as season starts go, I think Australia was a pretty good one. Obviously, the result could have been better. We had issues along the way, but you know, I think no one has a clean Australia. You know, it's first day back at school on the championship, so we're never going to get a perfect result. But yeah, P8, P9, I think was perfect. So I think we can do nothing but build on that. You know, double top 10. We looked at every race this year. We want a double top 10, obviously. So I think me and Lewis can bring home a good result out every season, and hopefully we can get a good championship standing at the end.
So fingers crossed for the team as well. See, I've got a bit of a following there, shall we say? You know, with the team as well. So it's you know, hope you guys do well at MDR, and I'll say we're looking forward to seeing your team progress. As you know, been very quick progress up from FC and then to Super League Lights as well. Like a few teams have done this year as well. Like the Mouse one, for example, they moved up there. TG, for example, as well. So it's great to see these sort of teams come up from FC and Super Cup and see how they can handle it with teams who've maybe more established, like you are now in Super League Lights as well. So we'll see how you get on. Obviously, wish you luck for the season ahead as well. I'm just looking at the chat actually while we're looking here as well. While warm-up's still going on, you know, 182 Craigie, Craig Patterson, of course, Chris Shepherd's in there, George Whitehouse as well. Hello to you all. I'll say some very familiar names. Of course, hope you're all keeping well. I say looking forward to this evening's entertainment as well as the grid's now just being lined up. I can quickly give you a rundown of what the top 10 will be as well. So it'll be Hemingson and Pole from Lexo from Granton. That'll be your top 3. And then we've got Hoekstra, Herlock, Rozak, Amari Watson, Frelick, Parker and Paul Augustlana will be the top 10. Svender Free starting in P11. I'll run down the full grid when the session is all over and when we go onto the grid as well, and it's just a little bit of minutes in the pit lane. Obviously 2 races this evening as well, both 14 laps long. This is 2 sprint races really, just go at it. Simple as that. Just no holds barred, just 2 very, very good sprint races as well. And the track, you know, obviously it rained a little bit to start with, but Jack, I don't think it's rained since, but you know, it's just a little bit damp offline, but pretty much a bone dry circuit, so ideal conditions for the drivers, and hopefully some cracking racing as a result.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be good. Either way, the turn 1 obviously is a very heavy braking zone, as I was saying earlier, but obviously it's a dry circuit, so it's not going to be as instant packed as I'd expect. But again, that's 30 cars all wanting to get through turn 1 in the lead, so expect something to go on, but at the same time, they're very talented, so I'm sure they're going to be clean, at least do their best to be so.
Damn sight more talented than me, that's for sure. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, basically, for as long as I have done. So we will see how the event goes. I'll see. You know, it's going to be as always. You know, it's going to be some happy campers, and there's going to be some unhappy campers at the end. Probably moaning in Discord afterwards and having a bit of a rant. But that's racing at the end of the day. You know, that is it's going to be tough for a lot of these guys. You know, particularly new ones who are coming in. You know, they probably got an idea of what it was like. You know, first round. Obviously, here's, as I said earlier, you know, a bit of a redemption for some of these drivers and teams, hopefully as well. The likes of Santa, the likes of Gridline as well. They had rough events last time out, but I'll say they qualified fairly well. So hopefully, for their sakes, more than anything else, they'll pack some points here today. Only 4 teams last time out didn't score any points, and I think, you know, a few of those teams who had rough races last time out, hopefully they'll get themselves on the board coming out of Bahrain. As say, our race director just going through all the usual procedures before the race, just telling everyone what to do, what not to do, and then the warm-up session should be over and done with.
going back to drivers wanting a clean race and everything, obviously, as I was saying earlier about Hoekstra being caught out in Australia, losing out points to the likes of Sven de Vries, Sven winning both races. Sven having that penalty here, dropping down to P11. Drivers like Hemmingson, who obviously missed race 1. Lexo wasn't here for race 1. Okay, he's not in the championship, but he's still going to be up there. And Hoekstra as well. This is going to be the race that they need to get maximum points to close that gap they have to Sven. And hope for their sake, not for our sake, because we don't want any drivers to have any incidents, but for their sake, they wouldn't mind if Sven got caught out in a few incidents in that mid-pack. However, Sven is obviously a very good driver, and I don't think you can count him out of even fighting for the win in race 1 if he fights through cleanly and quickly.
Yeah, so he's got a big buffer as well in the championship already, 17-point gap, so he can take a hit, in the points if he does have a bad event, but I say you don't want too many of them. You just want to keep scoring points every single time, even if it's just like 5 points here, 3 points there. It all adds up, it all helps you out in your championship. If you are fighting for a championship, obviously Hemmingson starting 50 points behind after missing the first round of the season, but he's looking to make up for that over the course of the next few rounds. Of course, he's going to be starting from pole position, the perfect place if you want to take any sort of championship fight to anybody. So, clear track ahead of him. Alongside him, race winner in Super Cup and obviously a contender last year as well for victories in Formula Challenge. Stephen Lexo will be alongside Hemmingson for Nova Simracing. Guillaume Brandt will start on row 2 alongside Whoopi Hoekstra. Daniel Herlock and Patrick Rosette round up row 3. And Murray Watson having a much better time in qualifying this time around. He's in P7 and feeling much happier with the car. Alongside him will be Simon Frelick. Tom Parker in P9, hoping for a much cleaner event. He had a bit of a rough one last time out when he was in the Neptune. He'll be alongside his old teammate, Paul August-Lan, on the 5th row. So in the Vries in P11 after his grid penalty, he'll be alongside Max Reichel as well for 86E Racing. Thomas Harvey in P13, he'll be alongside Elias Fernandez with then his teammate in 15th place, Alejandro Enamorado, and Tom Voss in the GPVWC Academy car as well. He'll round out the 8th row. Liam Rance and Faros round up row 9. Peter Jones and Garrett de Vries round up the 10th row as well. Emmanuel Delera for HGP alongside him, the first of the Drive Game Seat cars, Nico Caneo. Dean Fairclough in P23 and Luca Flask, the Maltese driver in 86 Racing, they're running at row 12. Mike Bow in the second of downforce cars, he'll be onto Bolko, row 13. Sam Holt actually starting from the pit lane, P27, he took a big grid penalty today. Dan Hurt in P28 as well, starting from the pits. Rob Russa in P29 in the second of the Thunderdog cars as well. Stanley Stoffmeer ran it in P30, and then Riboli rounding out the back of the grid in the Valley Sports car as well. So that rounds up 31 drivers. Leaders now just going to be lining up on the grid. And Jack, it's a difficult turn 1 here, or difficult first sector actually, because it's obviously long straights into heavy braking zone. So it's going to be key for these drivers, particularly in the mid-pack, to avoid trouble if they can. Well,
I think the likes of Stephen Lexo, obviously on a 1 race contract here for Nova, he's not in the championship fight. He has nothing to lose. So I think the likes of Martin Hemmingson, racing them, have to be a bit more cautious. They're in it for the long haul. They're in it for the whole season. Stephen Lexo is just in it for the race. He wants that race win. So I feel like the likes of Martin, they're going to have to be a bit more cautious with him, because he will be a lot more aggressive, I feel.
Riboli's just lined up at the back of the field. The 5 lights are going out very quickly here. The 5 lights are out here, and in Bahrain, we're going to get underway here. Lights are out, and they are away, and it looks like Hoekstra pulls out very, very quickly behind, and they're going 3 wide, but Hemmingson's had a cracking start. He's clear going into turn 1. Looks like round the outside Hoekstra there, trying to get round the outside of Lexo, but failed to do so. Contact further back, August-Lan's being like a bit of a pinball there in the middle, but he gets away with it. As well, it looks like pretty much everyone gets out of turn 1, 2 and 3 pretty much clean. Even Holt and Hutt there. Leaving the pits nice and safely as well. But in the lead, Hemmingson, clean start. That's exactly what he needs. He's going to get the job done now, hopefully for the next 14 laps.
Yeah, very clean start there. Every car looks like they made it through turn 1. The 2 cars just trailing back that came out the pit lane. Obviously, they were hoping for contact at the start to make up a few positions, but that didn't seem the case. So now they've got to work up. There's a spinner in the background there.
That's August Lan, I think, in the Neptune.
Yeah, that's the Neptune car.
Around, I think, in the middle of the pack, and he's going to be going marching down to the back of the field, and he's over with Bolko as well. They're right at the back of the field, so bad luck already for Paul August Lana there. But his teammate is already cleared by nearly a second from Stephen Lexo in P2, Hoekstra P3, Branson P4, Rozak, so the 2 RBA cars in the top 5. And then it's Herlock in P6. He's got a clean start this time out, and he's looking to do some carve that way through the field as well in the first of the Santon cars. Herlock in 6 and his teammate in P9 as well. Mario Watson as well. Sven de Vries is made his way up to P8 from the start. But everyone seems, apart from that incident going into the hairpin, like we saw chaos there last year, but with Terence Gretsch wrecking a load of cars because of his off track and going into the pack. But apart from that, little excursion there for August Lahn in the hairpin. Really clean start from pretty much everybody.
Yeah, as far as starts go, that was pretty much perfect. Obviously, you had that one incident in the middle that the people from the pit lane, and they've already caught up to the train, so clean there. Tom Parker down the inside of, I believe that's Amari Watson. Amari on the inside. That's very difficult to run side by side through there at turn 2, but Parker's come out on top. Amari's just going to stick behind him now, get the slipstream, but he's not going to be able to make it back into turn 4.
Yes, that's a great move from Parker to keep it there and keep that position, but no contact, which is a clear thing to do as well. That's the main element there. So just see Sven de Vries trying to set up Simon Frelich as well, rounding outside into the hairpin. He seems like that a higher ground on the Polish driver, and it looks like that's going to be a cracking little move and get this done. Sven de Vries down the inside, and he gets the job done into P7 as well. Daniel Herlock's going to be his next target up the road, but Hemmingson 1.3 seconds clear already. He's just bolted into the distance, and it's probably a statement of intent to say, you know what, I might be around behind everybody on points, I've got to be taken seriously here still.
Exactly, this is exactly what I was on about with Sven de Vries. It's lap 2 and has already made up 4 positions. He might struggle to challenge for the win now at the rate Martin's going. Stephen seems to be a bit of a cork in the bottle here in second place. Obviously it's at 1.3 seconds at the last sector split between P1 and 2. Martin looks like he's run away with this. However, Sven de Vries will be challenging for the podium, I'd say, all things go his way.
So, start of lap 3, Hemmingson clear by about 1.3 seconds from Lexo. Hoekstra keeping in tow behind the German driver. And looking further back there, Liam Rats in P14. He looks like he's trying to make a move, or defending at least, from Deacon Fairclough there. Debut here for the young go-karter in the downforce racing car as well. Looks like Liam Rants holds position for now. Obviously got Tom Voss trying to make position as well in the Academy Series car as well. They've got DRS going down this backstraight at a turn 3, going into the hairpin. Voss lunges down the inside. He's really steady, getting contact there with Liam Rants. That's clumsy there from Tom Voss. Really clumsy move there. He's diving from a mile back. Now he's on the sand there, trying to rejoin the track. And there's contact as well. Mike Bowell's gone for a spin as well. Carnage at the back of the field there. Tom Voss pulls over. Mike Bowell rejoins the circuit. More tire spray. August Land's gone for a spin again. And Raboni's found the beach at that corner as well. And it's all just kicked off at the back of the field there as well. Everyone's just spinning around and around. But it looks like everyone, well, Tom Voss has DNF, Dan Hutt's in the pits. So rough stuff there at the back of the field. Unfortunate situation there. All started off there by Tom Voss, just harpooning into the side of Liam Rants and spinning him around. But everybody else at the front of the field seems to go very clean as well. Just one thing, note Tom Parker now all over the back of Simon Frelich as well.
Yeah, very clumsy driving there from Voss. Obviously, I don't feel like it was intent. He just outbraked himself trying to get down the inside of Fairclough and just collected Rants with him, and then obviously that created the chain reaction of a load more cars getting involved. So he'll probably get a slap on the wrist for that if people protest him.
Looking further back as well, this battle here for P8 Frelichs, defending the line from Tom Parker here. Parker doing a great job yesterday to earn himself a sync here today for Madness Racing. So Marion Watson still keeping in touch, actually, even though he's got passed by Parker, he's still keeping in touch with these guys. This battle for P8. Expect Fernandez and Reichel to close up to these guys as well. I think they are doing that slowly. Back up front, Hemmingson still got this very much under control.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's just running in a bit of a DRS train at this point, just not wanting to slow each other down. Obviously, if they start fighting, they know Sven de Vries is coming up behind. If they start fighting, they just slow them down even more and let Martin get away. They don't really want that. So I think for now, they're just waiting for each other to make a mistake and just get a bit into this race before deciding what to do next.
As they're being quite sensible at the front of the field, I'm going to look a bit further back. P17, Peter Jones holding a train of cars here. He's been taking tips from Mike Bell from last week, I think. And Sam Holt, who's made its way from the pit lane. Oh, and there's contact. Jones has lost it and spun around Sam Jones's nose. And there's also more contact in the background there with Rusa. And I think that's Paul Goslan once again getting involved in contact for the third time already this race. He's really having no luck at all in this series so far. But Sam Holt with that contact is down to 19th. But the big loser there, Peter Jones, spinning all the way down to 25th. Once again, that's just him losing it out of the corner, just losing it, and then Sam Holt had nowhere to go but to clip his car into the wall, as we've seen a replay on stream. I was just in a replay on stream as well. Not
done exactly what I said in warm-up. Got on the exit curb and just lost all the grip. So you want to avoid these exit curbs as much as possible because there's no grip out there, and as we saw just then, it just throws the car off.
It does. It's very, very tricky. They're bumpy curves, some of them covered a bit of sand as well, so there's not much grip on there at all, so avoid it at all costs if you can. But the other Nova driver, Stephen Lexo, still in P2 here, obviously doing a one-off drive here for the Nova Simracing team, looking to build on their great result last time out in Australia, second in the team championship. They need to bag good points if they can to maintain that position, but RBA at this moment in time, 4th and 5th, having a great time out this round. Branton ahead of his team at Rosac, and Herlock for Santon having a much stronger showing this time out and still holding up Sven de Vries. De Vries not making the progress that we first thought. He's obviously gapped the guys behind him really well, but these guys ahead of him, they're a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, he can afford to take a bit more risk, unlike the cars in front. If you think he's now at the back of this train, he's got a good 3-second gap to P8 behind him. He's got room to play with. These cars in front of him have to worry about overtaking and defending. If they go for an overtaking opportunity, they lose out time to the guy behind, and that could let the guy behind through. Sven, at this point, does not have that issue. He can make moves without any risk of anyone overtaking him behind.
That's it. I've just seen as well, Lexo smoking up the front tyres as they go out of the final corner. I think he's starting to drop. Well, actually, no, he's maintained the gap to Hemmings. He's not dropped back anymore, but I think Walker Hoekstra is closing in on the German driver ahead of him. He pulls out. Cheeky little look feint trying to get past Lexo there, but to say too far back to really make any moves. But great stuff here. So far, it's a bit of a spinner. P12, I think Reichel there gets a little bit out of shape, and Watson's actually now down to P11 as Fernandez has got past him as well. So Fernandez up to P10. Don't forget, between positions P10 and 15 in the end of this race one, they get reversed for race 2 as well. So that is a very, very key battle to look at between the likes of, particularly about for P10 and P15 as well. Who gets that last position as well? See, that's a random generated number, a bit like doing PTCC, for example. So anyone between 10 and 15 can get reverse pole after race 1 as well.
Yeah,
so
Watson just fighting Reichel there. Reichel had a little look around the outside at turn 4, couldn't make it stick. Watson got a good drive and just opened that gap up a little. So it should be safe until going on to the next lap with the DRS zone.
Yes, Sven de Vries is closing up to the back of Herlock now as we're going into this sector 3. And quite important actually as well, the gearing on this circuit as well. Some people have the gearing actually to hit the limiter going down these straights, and some people probably have the gearing set for slipstream as well. So we'll probably work that out as we go along. So just noticed the two RBA cars getting very, very close as well. Branton and Rosac fighting each other, trying to work out who is the faster guy out of those two as well. But if they hold each other up, I'm pretty sure Herlock and de Vries is going to be in a great position here to capitalise this. Now they're fighting each other side by side. The two teammates going into turn 1, go round the corner, and they just about avoid each other there. They don't avoid each other there though. It's always sideways. Rosac, the two teammates collide. And that's exactly what I was on about. Exactly what I was on about. Herlock getting the run now on second. Oh, look at that. It's around the outside as well. It's going to be great moving. Hold it there. It's dangerous stuff, though, playing this game. Through the section, Sven de Vries holding up behind as well. Oh, he gets a little bit sideways on turning. De Vries around the outside. Contact between the two. Santon's around. Oh, and Herlock's rolling He's rolling into the gravel trap there as well. Herlock really unlucky. I mean, he stuck his nose inside there, Jack. You know, those events are really unlucky there for Herlock. Just barrel rolling the car. He's still someone come up in 12th place.
Yeah, all that fighting. Dan Herlock was really on the limit there with all the cars around him. Not wanting to hold off anything. Obviously had the RBA of Branton on the inside going into the right hand of the S's. He got through. Herlock was offline through the left-hander and just understeered straight into the side of Sven. There was not much he could have done there besides lift. But, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah. Rozak's also lost his front wing as well in that instance as well. Somewhere, I didn't catch it on camera, but Rozak's got to take a trip to the pits up for RBA. You know, all down to the two teammates colliding. It's called chaos. But the one man to capitalise, Sven de Vries. He's up to P5, you know, banking those points, hopefully. As we're now at halfway distance in this race. And Hemmingsen's still just carrying like 1.3 second gap at the front of the field. You know, he doesn't have to do anything crazy. You know, he just has to be comfortable in his surroundings. And then hopefully for him, you know, he'll come up with a race victory. He deserves it. He's been just got a little bit of an edge on everybody else.
Yeah, all that, it was really unnecessary really. The two RBAs coming out of turn one side by side. Someone should have yielded for that left hander. As I was saying before, it's so difficult to get side by side through there. When we saw Watson and Reichel go through there earlier, they were very close. They just about got through it, but the two RBAs, it's too tight a line to go side by side. Someone should have yielded. That was really unnecessary, and I'm sure their team boss at the end of this is not going to be too happy with them throwing away an easy, well, a solid top 10 at least.
For both of them, and now where is first the RBA cars? Now is he still in the pits? I'm not quite too sure. No, he's come out of the pits, but he's going to be well down in the order. I can't see him for the time being, but yeah, he's going to be well at the points now.
Just come out in P29 in a race this long. It's not really worth staying out at that point. They're throwing that race. That's on them really. They've only got themselves to blame.
Yeah, so you know that's going to ruin their race too as well, because obviously the after P15, you know, you start where you finished in race one, so that's ruined Rozak's result there, so not ideal for them as well. Of course, last year we had the two RTD cars collide and take each other out as well in race one, and that ruined their whole event and pretty much their season never really got back to the way there was after Australia. So, you know, a little thing like that can really affect not only the event but maybe even form going into the season as well.
It hasn't got much better for RBA either, because Branton made a mistake going through turn 10, just ran out wide, and Sven just came through on the racing line, didn't lose any time. That's perfect for him. He's now got clean air in front of him, can close down that top three. I would say the likes of Hoekstra and Lexo, they're going to have their eyes in the mirror now. Hoekstra just want to get past Lexo as soon as possible, because he's not going to want to have to deal with De Vries, because De Vries is behind you. He's going to come past one way or another. Yeah,
if these two hold each other up as well, you know, De Vries is not going to be needing an invitation to close up and pass you, you know, so they're going to have to work together just to, for the time being at least, not to make sure they have a very fast Sven de Vries. Championship leader, of course, obviously winning the first two races of the year, you know, so he's in a great place, you know, and his championship rival, second in standings was Sam Holt, and he's nowhere to be seen. He's down 16th. He ain't getting any points after this race as it stands, so he's got some work to do to make up the gap. He's done well, you know, starting from the pit lane, so he's done well to get in that position, but not looking good for him, at least for points in this race. But Hemmingsen putting away a little bit out the front. There we got the second and third battling away a little bit here.
As I was saying before, Lexo's got nothing to lose. Hoekstra at the moment is somewhat in the championship fight. Lexo's only doing this race, so he's got nothing to lose. However, Hoekstra wants to get past as soon as possible, because as soon as Sven turns up, he's no longer able to focus on Lexo, because they'll have a car behind and in front.
Speaking of fight, look at this fighting for P6. Tom Parker, just still drifting it through the long left-hander. He's now about with Frelick, Fernandez, Watson, you know, and I think that's Max Reich as well in P10 as well. So this is a 5-car scrap. Oh, and Frelick runs wide out of the final corner down to the curve. That's going to ruin his momentum down straight. Fernandez is going to be all over the back of Frelick, of the Polish driver now, and he's actually going to have this little handy slipstream from Tom Parker as well. So breaking into turn one, Watson's keeping a watchful eye on this as well to go through turn one. I think Fernandez is going to get it around the outside. Oh, he's going to squeeze it on the curb. There's the contact there. Squeeze it onto the curb. That's going to ruin Frelick's momentum. There goes Watson into P8 as well. So little tiny mistake, really momentum down one straight, and you lose 2 positions there as well. It's so critical there. It's not a little tiny mistake like that, Jack, can just really affects your momentum and position as well.
Yeah, exactly. Once you're offline, especially that opening sector of corners, once you're offline, that really does ruin your run down towards turn 4. Watson as well, just slightly missing his brake for turn 1, almost running back off Fernandez, kept it out of him and didn't lose a position. In fact, it's still already all over the back of Fernandez again. So Watson, a bit of a resurgence at the second half of this race. He had a bit of a struggling start, dropped out of the top 10, now back up to P8. Looks like he could get Fernandez very soon. Fernandez goes to the inside, Watson comes up slipstream under braking. Fernandez is now offline. Watson's going to get on power really early. He's got a really good run coming out of the sector 2 now. He's not really going to get a good look here unless Fernandez makes a mistake, but I would say he should just set him up now for a DRS overtake down into turn 1.
He is, and just caught off camera actually while watching this battle. Paul Islan's lost his front wing. He's had to take trips to the pit, so his disastrous race continues. That's his 4th incident that I know about. It's been really sort of like, it started off bad, it's just got worse and worse. But Watson now looking to set up the Spanish driver ahead of him for a Sombic.
Yeah, they both get a decent run here. Fernandez already made his defensive line before we get to the DRS zone. Could be quite costly. You might want to wait a bit later, but it's right to the inside. Watson goes to the outside now. I don't think he'll break him on the outside, but he might go for the switchback if Fernandez breaks too late down the inside.
Let's have a look as they go through the corner. Fernandez
holds
the apex really well. And Frelick is also defending from Reichel pretty well as well. Watson's going to have a double dose of DRS, of course. Going down the straight into turn 4. She doesn't, because I say Fernandez got it, actually. Strange. I think because of Parker ahead, but I say Parker's now cleared off the road. So, strange stuff, but that is pretty much positions still the same as what they was before. So that battle between 7th and 10th now was Parker's now bolted up the road. He's now looking actually up to the likes of Branton and De Vries potentially, but I say 3.5 laps to go. That's going to be tough going.
But De Vries is closing fairly quickly. He's a second faster than the 2 in front of him last lap alone. They're not exactly fighting, but they're definitely going a lot slower. And I think Sven's fought his way through this pack, but it looks like the guys in front and their tyres could be dropping off, which would be a surprise considering, like I say, Sven has been fighting this whole race through the grid. So we'll see how that plays out coming into the final few laps.
Lexo's struggling on his tyres, and maybe Watkins struggling on his dirty air, potentially. Because Hemmingson's just bolted up to the distance, nearly 3 seconds now, so that is, game over as far as, unless he makes a mistake, that is game over. Hemmingson's going to waltz to victory. But Sven de Vries has got a good run here.
Hoax has got a good run, and he's got a good gearing as well. He hasn't topped out until right now. He's not going to get him here, but he's going to have a look around the outside.
Oh, and he holds it quite nicely
on the inside for turn 2, but he's going to have to yield, I feel.
Oh, Lexo does well. Lexo does really well there to hold position on that curve. As you've seen, it has taken victim already today. But Hope's just trying to get a second chance at this.
Has a look around the outside of turn 4. Very difficult to do there. I managed to do it last season in Super League Lights, but it's ever so difficult. Because like I say, it's all off camber, so you just start to lose grip just when you need it if you're not on that racing line. Either way, really good driving from these two. Good spatial awareness, leaving each other just enough space that they need to, whilst not giving too much away. Solid driving from the two of them.
That has been really, and showing their class as well. So there was a lot of incidents last time out, from it's a bit of amateur driving in the rain from a few people. But say in these conditions, you can just see who's got the experience, who can navigate their way through traffic and incidents and battles and come out the other side clean. And you're seeing at the front today, to Hemmingson, Lexo, Wopke, Sven de Vries, all experienced drivers who've navigated their way through the front of the field and qualify well, obviously helping out. They're doing a great job. But another man is doing a great job. Mario Watson's at the P7. He's ahead of Reichel. So something's happened behind. I think between Fernandez and Frelick, potentially, they're still side by side going through that long right-hander. Fernandez now covering the inside of the corner. Just about to start their penultimate lap. 2 laps to go.
This is going to be close between second, third and fourth. Sven de Vries, I think, took a whole second out of them that lap again. Like I said, they were fighting. They lost 4 attempts in sector 1 alone just because of that fighting side by side from turn 1 and 2. He's going to be right on the back of him, I feel, going on to this final lap.
Yes, he is indeed. I say looking further back as well. They're all spanning out behind this battle for 7th. It's really picking up now. Reichel. And you got Frelick's past Fernandez into turn 1, and Herlock's back into this fight as well after rolling his car through that incident. And probably just a racing incident in all fairness. You know, he's now back in there. So for Santa Motorsports, they're going to get some solid points out of this first race. 8-6 racing as well. You've got to say, they've done a pretty nice job as well. And to say, you know, they're a real sort of dominant team, I'd say, points-wise here today. Obviously, Neptune in this first race looking like they're going to take maximum points for one of their drivers, of course. That'll really help after a pretty rough but okay first round. You know, getting a winner to the bout is no mean feat, so well done to them if that's the case. But Watson doing a nice job in 7th place here. Reichel, again, really nice performance. You know, P8 for a new team in GPVWC as well. You know, you've got to take all the points you can get. Fair play to him. Just looking down further down the order, I'm going to go down from 10th backwards. It's Fernandez, Herlock from Harvey as well in P12. That'll be Gridline's first points if they can stay there as well. Farros in P13. Deegan Fairclough, 14th. You know, fair play to him. He's showed speed and he's up and there in the points. That's for the time being. Liam Ransom P15. Doffmill, Enamorado, Caneo, Belko, and Sam Holt running at the top 20 as well. But now we're going to start our final lap, and well, that's what I was saying though. Jack Emerson's made it walk in the park, but look behind them at the front of the field. P2, Lexo, Hoekstra, and Sven de Vries has joined the party.
Hoekstra's got to play this really cautiously now, because like I said before, he's now got 2 people to worry about, the guy in front and the guy behind. If he makes a move on Lexo, he has to make sure it works, otherwise De Vries is going to be there to pick up the pieces. De Vries just sitting back watching, see what they do. Hoekstra brake really late out of turn 4 around the outside, gets the grip, but Lexo gets on the power again early. They're going to go side by side into turn 5. Not sure how this is going to work. It's not worked well today, and Hoekstra's lost the grip on the outside there, and that's what I was on about. De Vries gets through. De Vries now on the back of Lexo. They hit!
Oh,
and Lexo goes round.
Oh, they've all 3 come together. Who's your P5? Is Branton going to take it?
So who's going to come through?
Look at this, Lexo. Lexo gets passed by all of them. He gets passed by all of them here. That's really unfortunate. You know, Sven de Vries just, you know, like a bowling ball almost into the back of Lexo. Just braked a little bit too late. That's going to probably be looked at, I imagine, by the steward if it's reported, of course. But look at that. Robbie Hoekstra still comes out in P2. Lexo's the man to really miss out on that as well. He's down to P5. It's a back marker of August Lahn there getting involved, you know, in this scrap. But we'll die down there for a moment, because Martin Hemerson deserves a lot of credit for this victory. He's going to win by 8.5 seconds, it looks like to me, as he comes round the final corner. And as I said, he missed the first round. He had to get the performance in to kickstart a season. But I'll tell you what, he couldn't have done it in better way and better circumstances. He wins race 1 here in Bahrain. An easy victory for him. But look at this battle here for P2. Hoekstra is going to win that one. But up to Branton P3, Lexo P4, Sven de Vries lets Lexo by, and he's going to finish in P5. Tom Parker P6, Amari Watson a brilliant P7 for him. For Santa, Max Reichel likewise in P8 doing a great job. Simon Frelick P9, Elias Fernandez P10, Thomas Harvey P11, really nice stuff from him. Dan Herlock in P12, Farros 13th, Ian Fairclough for his debut 14th. Nice drive from him actually after a tough practice he's had. Liam Rance 15th as well, so Gridline get 2 cars in the point. Stanley Stoffmill on the back of the grid finishes in P16, and Amorado P17, Caneo 18th, Bolko 19th. Sam Holt going into this round 2nd in the championship. He's going to finish in P20, rough time for him after having a penalty. Mike Bell 21st, Roberti 22nd, Peter Jones 23rd, Garrett de Vries 24th, Luca Flask for 8-6 E-Racing 25th. Rob Russo for Thunderdog P26, Rozak 27th, Dan Hutt will come across the line in P28, Paul August Lana P29 after, let's face it, a forgettable race. Delara P30 and Tom Voss in P31. And that is that for race 1. I think it's time that we have a little bit of a break for a couple of minutes to just regain our composure and relax a little bit. And we'll be right back. Right, we're back, and I must say I feel a bit peckish off that. I don't know about you, Jack, but I think we should order some food. So let me get on the phone now. Let's order an Indian and right, let's see what we can do. Hello there, is that the Handy Gandy? Yeah, I think we should. We need to. Me and my friend here need to order some food here. We like a chicken jalfrezi for me, and I think Jack, you want the korma, right? Don't you? That's right, korma. Obviously, pilau rice. And I understand as well there's a promo code here as well for 5 free poppadoms. Is that right? Yeah, MDR5. What do you mean you haven't heard of it? Yeah, MDR5. Everyone's heard of MDR5. MDR, Games Apparel and everything. Wait, if you're not going to give me 5 free poppadoms using MDR5, you can stick your order then. Forget it. Forget it. Yeah. No, I'm not angry anyway. Piss off. Ah, dearie me. What's that, Jack? No one's heard it. MDR. They're not big enough, obviously. They're not give takeaways. Gandy's not heard of it, so he's obviously overrated. If he's not heard of MDR5, Gandy's.
You're telling me he's not heard of MDR5?
Gandy's not heard of MDR5.
They didn't know. If you go on www.gamersapparel.co.uk/store/MDR, you can use code MDR5 to get 5% off your next MDR purchase on MDR merch.
I know, but they won't give us poppadoms. Disgrace.
Yeah,
they've lost custom now and promotion.
I'm not going back there.
Deary me. Anyway,
Sandeep can stuff it. Yep.
Anyway, warm up. I think now 7.5 minutes of warm up to go, and what a great first race that was, Jack. As well. You had the likes, obviously Hamilton walking away with it in the end. But obviously, race 2's a different game. We've seen in the past race 2s as well. You can great in race 1, but the race 2 with all the sort of hunky dory that comes with it, and we've seen now that actually 15th place got reverse grid pole. So Liam Rance is going to be on pole position, so that'll be Team Gridline's first pole position in GPVWC as well. So they're going to be excited for this race, no doubt about it. So we'll see how it goes for them. But obviously, likes of Hemmingson, likes of De Vries, Hoekstra as well. For them, it's just about survival. I think we've seen a lot of times last year as well. Just banging those points in race 2 does a great deal for your championship as well. I mean, if you was in their shoes now, the likes of Hemmingson's shoes, and what would your mindset be?
Well, lap 1, you want to keep out of trouble. Wherever there's a space, you want to be there, and you want to make sure you're looking around to make sure no one's going to cut across and that you're not going to run into anyone. Even if you lose out a few places in this close proximity racing, you're going to make them back just by other people not being so cautious. That's what I think Sven De Vries done so well in race 1, obviously up until the final lap when he stuffed it, but we'll ignore that a bit. He made his way through the pack where everyone else was just taking themselves out. The first lap he was up 4 places. I'm pretty sure 3 of which just took themselves out or lost their own time. So that's the thing. Hemmingson starting from P15, obviously one last race, reverse grid here. Starting from P15, he's now got to do what Sven De Vries done and more from race 1. If he wants to get in front of Sven De Vries and close that gap even further, obviously Sven De Vries winning last at Australia. Sven De Vries is now starting in front of him. He hasn't got to make up as many positions, and he will make up the positions. So I would say Hemmingson needs to put in double the effort of Sven. And I think you can't rule out De Vries winning this, or at least being up there fighting for the win, coming the final lap. Maybe even hit the guy out, but we'll ignore that bit.
And it only takes one mistake from a guy just further up ahead of you, and it could be a big wreck. We've seen it in the past as well, particularly last year. There's quite a few of those sort of wrecks that affect a lot of people's races as well. And Hemmingson was one in particular who got affected quite a lot last year. I spoke to him during the year last year as well, and he was quite demotivated as a result. He just wanted to get results. He kept being involved in incidents all the time. So I think again with a different mindset this year, and hopefully for his sake he'll come out the better side of it. But yeah, it'd be an interesting one because obviously in the rain last time out, it's a bit of a different complex to it, shall we say. With being a rain, it's a bit more cautious, but this is going to be proper hard racing from the get-go. So it's going to be very, very tricky to navigate. Those first lap or 2 is going to be the key to see where your race is going to end up potentially as well. So hopefully it'll be a clean one, but obviously race 2 does have a bit of a history of being a bit on the rough side. A bit of hip and shoulder and all that. So fingers crossed, we'll have a good one. I'll say we're just about to move over to the race session now, and we're running for full grid once again. But I looking at this grid, it's going to be a very, very interesting one. Liam Rance for grid line is going to be on pole position for race 2, and Deegan Fairclough for downforce is going to be P2 on his debut in the series as well. There's been a bit of a rumble in the chat about, the way he's been practicing as well. I'm not going to go into detail, but, I think a few people watching at home are going to be a bit interested to see how it goes for him, basically. So we'll see how it all works out. But we're running down to full grid in a moment's time, about 20 seconds time or so. I'll say, looking at the grid now, Jack, obviously you have time now to analyse the grid a little bit. You should put your money on, to have a good result here.
A good result? A lot of them could. If the likes of Liam Rance and Fairclough don't lose that many places and they just hold on like it means the world to them, then they're in for a good top 10 finish, which is great for them. But I think the likes of Sven de Vries will be fighting through, and I think Sven de Vries just naturally carves his way through grids, So I would say he is probably the one to look out for.
Now, bit of controversy here. Deegan Fairclough has not made the grid, and he's going to start P2, and he's now missed out on that chance to be on the front row. So Fairclough's going to start from the pits, which is a disaster for him. But so Liam Rance going off the front row all to himself for grid line. So make their job.
Scratch what I said about Fairclough getting the top 10 then?
Yeah, that's out the window now. I'm sorry, but that's completely out the window. Rance is going to be out on his own. Faros now in P2. Daniel Hurlock, I think, is going to have a really good showing here. If he has a clean first lap, he's going to be in a very, very good place. P3 for Hurlock. Thomas Harvey in P4 now on the grid. But actually, P4 on the road, but P5 position. Say he's P5 for now. Fernandez in 6. Simon Frelick in P7 for the Academy team. Max Reichel in P8. Amari Watson in 9th. And here comes some big guns behind him. Tom Parker, Sven de Vries, Stephen Lexlow, they're going to be 10th, 11th and 12th consecutively. Guillaume Branton in 13th. Whoopi Hoekstra 14th. Hemmingson, obviously race 1 winner, is going to be down in 15th place for Neptune. So it's going to be a very, very tough one for him to keep out of trouble. Sonny Stoffmill 16th. Alamorado 17th. Caneo 18th. Balco 19th. Sam Holt going to be in 20th position there for Nova. 21st Spike Bell. 22nd Riboli. 23rd Peter Jones. Gerrit de Vries in 24th. Luca Flask in P25, Rob Roos in P26, Rozak P27 for RBA. Obviously, he's going to look to make up for that Paul instantly had in the first race. Dan Hurt in 28th. Paul Gaslan had an absolute shocker in race 1. At least 4 incidents to our knowledge. He's in P29. Delara P30, Tom Voss P31 at the back of the field. But what an opportunity wasted for Deegan Fairclough to start on the front row on your debut, and he's missed the grid. He's going to have to start from the pits. I mean, I can't say it's unfortunate because it's his own fault, but it's an opportunity like that, Jack. If that was you in your shoes, you'd be absolutely gutted, wouldn't you?
I would be, but I'd also be aware of the timer ticking down. He had a good 30 seconds to have gone onto the grids. In these races, I can understand the Super League and Super League Lights. Sometimes you don't want to give away what your tyres you're starting on, or you don't want to call too much on your tyres, but there's no need to be so cautious, to be so secretive almost, until you get on the grid. So he's only got himself to blame, and I'm sure he'll be gutted, but he's got to learn from it and not do it next time out. Either way, Liam Rance has a very easy getaway here. He's got to really make some kind of mistake if he wants to lose P1 into turn 1. Then again, it's reverse grid, anything can happen.
If it can happen indeed, and I know Roy Rothen's going to be on his edge of his seat at this present time. Seeing his car on the front row of a GPVWC grid for the first time for him, and likes of Valley Esports as well. They're only their second event, and they're starting on the second row as well. So this is going to be a very, very interesting race. I can't wait to see what happens here, as now the grid has lined up at the back of the field. Tom Voss taking his position, and the 5 lights here are going on once again. What is race 2 here going to bring at Bahrain? We're underway, and it looks like a cracking start there for actually Diaz Faros there as well. He's getting slipstream quite well. Hurlock's looking down the inside into turn 1, being quite sensible, but Faros lunges down the inside. Can't make it stick though. Rance gets away cleanly. Hurlock's in P3. Great start as well from Tom Harvey. He's actually passing Herlock now down the inside, and it looks like a bit of carnage at the back. Back of the field, yes, cars all over. Yeah, Delera, Anamorado, Rosak, they've all gone off the back of the field. We've got a smoking Fairclough as well. He's smoking the car. Delera's out already. Back at the front of the field, it looks pretty much all line astern. Quite sensible stuff. Frelic's looking around the outside of Fernandez as they go into the hairpin for the first time. And looks like this time around, everyone seems to be a bit cleaner into the hairpin. But very good start there, Jack, particularly for Liam Rance.
Yeah, loads of people caught out in turn 1. That's kind of expected when it all continues up. But Liam Rance did get a bit shaky off the line, you know. He did almost lose it out to Faros. He had to hold it around the outside of turn 1, and they were going to commit to going too wide into turn 2. That got clean for him, but obviously that's very easy to go wrong, and you don't want to be throwing it away at turn 2 of a 14-lap race.
No, but he just about held on, but he's done the job. So here's the order. So Rance from Faros, from Herlock, from Harvey, from Fernandez, Frelick, Watson. The Fritas up to 8. Parker, Reichel's dropped down a little bit. Granton, what the Hoekstra hasn't made up too much progress. He's down in 12th. Emmington's in 13th, and then Lexo down to 14th place already, and then Caneo rounding out the points finishers so far. Rance is going to lead the first lap here, but now he's in under pressure a little bit from Faros. No DRS at the moment, but Faros can have a very good slipstream down the straight.
Faros has a very good run. He was right up the backside of Liam Rance going into the final corner. He's got a great run as well, and he's going to be around the outside again for turn 1. He's not going to hold it, I don't think. If he does, this will be a great move, but again, on the inside of turn 2, it's too tight to hold it though. He's going to have to lift off, and that's perfect for Herlock. Herlock gets held up though, because now Thomas Harvey is coming through on the inside of the two of them, and Harvey could outbrake the two here. It's difficult, but if he gets a good break and he doesn't run into the side like Tom Voss did earlier, no, he just gets past Herlock. So up into P3, and that's Fernandez now on the inside of Herlock. Herlock losing out there, but Herlock just stays in front. It looks going into the S's. Fernandez on the inside, and Fernandez comes through around the outside on the exit of the S's. That was a good move there by Fernandez, very clean. Herlock's been left out to dry there, just getting slightly out of shape. That's what I mean, slightly out of shape out of turn 1, and it affects you all the way down towards turn 4, and even after. Herlock was to the inside for turn 9 and 10. Not quite sure what he was doing there. He wants to set it up now for the back straight or the start finish straight, because you can't really throw a late dive into the turn 10. Bad luck for Herlock there. Good opportunistic driving from Harvey and Fernandez. Faros now needs to look at closing that gap to Liam Rance again.
He has, but say now for Gridliner, P1 and P3. You know, with Valley Sports Car P2 being the meat and the sandwich at the moment. So that's for those team bosses, they're going to be on their edge of their seat as well. Fernandez in P4 as well for a Sombic, again another new team in GPVWC this year as well. And looking further back, Frelick looking down inside, or defending actually from Sven de Vries. De Vries has made great progress, and Frelick's gone sideways out the corner. De Vries is already up to P6. He was absolutely right, Jack. Great analysis from you. He was looking to make it places at the start. He's quite very good at carving his way up through the field, and that's exactly what he's done.
Well, I think he's under pressure now, because Amari Watson, although they look a long way apart, Amari is on the racing line coming around. I was going to lose out there. They're going to go 3 wide, but he thinks better of it. Was that a bit of dust in turn 1 there?
Bobka Hoekstra as well. Look around the outside. He's made contact with Watson. They're both spinning off into the wall. Watson's in the barrier, lost the front wing. Hoekstra as well, been affected as well. That was a clumsy incident. Hoekstra's got away going again. Mari's in the barrier without front wings. That is going to be pretty much his chance of points completely gone. Back at the front now, Herlock making a move down the inside for P3. Looking down the inside of Liam Rance, can't get the job done. Oh, it's contact further back as well.
No, this is for the lead. Thomas Harvey's leading. Liam Rance has dropped down to P3. What's happened there?
He has. I need to watch back what's going on down here. You know, what has happened here? But yeah, Harvey's in the lead. You know, so there's been a mistake somewhere from Rance. Apologies for not catching that. I don't know what happened there.
It looked like a screen freeze on Liam's side.
Unfortunate stuff there from Liam Rance, but he's still in a good position. You know, it could, when you get screen freeze like that, it could be a millisecond, it could be 10 seconds. You know, so these issues can happen in these races as well. Luckily for him, it's annoying, but it could have been a lot worse for him as well. So yeah, Thomas Harvey now leads from Fernandez. What's happened also to Faros? Faros was in the front of the field. So Faros has gone right down the order. I'm not quite sure where he is for this present time being, so I have to look up. But Watson's out of this race.
Thomas Harvey's gone off at the final corner into the gravel trap. He's gone straight down now to P12, so he's just lost the lead. And Fernandez, out of nowhere, is now leading.
Oh, it's all falling apart for Gridline. It's technical issues, but also a mistake that's also paid part to their demise. They're still on the podium position.
Hemmingson up to P5 as well. Hemmingson's just got down the inside of Frelick into turn 2. He's come out of nowhere. Now he has been following Sven de Vries up the grid. De Vries P4, Hemmingson P5. I think that we could be seeing the battle in the lead again at the end of this race between Hemmingson and De Vries, as De Vries now up to P3, already on the podium.
Yeah, he's just passed Rance there with ease going into turn 4. And now he's got his eyes on the leader now, Fernandez. Obviously, Herlock's in P2. Not too sure how much Herlock's going to defend that position, but as you rightly say, Hemmingson carved his way from the field from 15th place. He's only 3.5 laps gone, and he's already up to 5th. That's why he's only a second behind De Vries. There's contact for the back there as well, I hear, but I'm not too sure what that is. We're going to ignore that for now. But yeah, it's been a very, very, chaotic start to these races. A few names at the front of the field going down the order, retiring in some cases as well. But let's run from the order very quickly. So Fernandez leads by 1.5 seconds from Dan Herlock. Sven de Vries in P3. Liam Rance in P4. Hemmingson P5. Simon Frelick in P6. Tom Parker now in P7. He's done a nice job actually as well. Lexo likewise up to P8. Guillaume Branton P9. Felipe Caneo running in the points there from 18th on the grid into P10. Barros now down to 11th position. Tom Voss, off Meal, Thomas Harvey, and now Walker Hoekstra running up to 15. So Hoekstra's made his way back to the points after going off. And looks like a car in the pits there.
Hemmingson down the inside of Rance now down the DRS straight, start finish straight. He's on the inside for turn 1. He had a little look down the inside into the final corner, but he thought better of it, and that was really good racecraft there from Hemmingson, knowing that he's got the DRS. He doesn't need to do anything too ambitious yet. He just needs to car through cleanly, and now he can catch on to the back of Sven de Vries, who looks like he's stuck behind Herlock. So this is going to be another lap, I'd say, until Sven gets past Herlock. Then again, he closes massively in the braking zone at turn 4. But Hemmingson's going to want to have to close right up now as quick as possible before De Vries gets past Herlock.
I say, it looks like De Vries and Hemmingson have plenty of mumbo in their sets, particularly in a straight line. That's probably how helped them carve their way through the field down these long straights at Bahrain as well. So it's really, really been helpful for them. Looking back, everyone looks pretty much line stone. Nice battle here for a 12th place. Stoffmeal, Tom Voss, Harvey, and Hoekstra as well. 4 cars together as well. They got the 8-6 car of Reichel tailing as well, but these 4 in 4 different cars as well, streaming each other really, really nice. I just see Peter Jones in the pits as well, repairing his car for damage as well. So it's been a rough old time for a few guys here today. Let's say we're on the 5th lap of this race. 1/3 race distance. So Fernandez leads by just under a second now from Herlock. Herlock's starting to put the hammer down a little bit, closing the gap now to the Spaniard ahead of him. I think having Sven de Vries right behind you, extra little bit of motivation to get put your foot down a little bit. And this is going to be interesting down the straight, because obviously DRS will be active for Sven de Vries, definitely. Will Herlock get it? Herlock gets it as well, actually, interestingly. Right,
Herlock's going to want to think about defending here, yeah, because Sven will send it from that far back, and he still goes to the inside. He had it covered. This is going to be very interesting. Herlock would have wanted to open up the corner there. He should have just gone straight back to the racing line, because now Sven's through and he's not going to have that run. He should have thought about going straight back to that racing line as soon as Sven went to the inside. He needs to open up that corner and get him back down to turn 4. He's probably going to be kicking himself for that, because that was an easy pass there for Sven.
It was, and Sven took his brave pills and went down the inside, and they got position done there as well. Herlock sort of a bit stuck there, with his decision making there. But I say he's still in P3, but look who's behind him. Martin Hemmingson obviously dominated race 1. He's up to 4th already. We know from last year how good Martin Hemmingson can be when he's in these races, and he gets a clean start. He could motor up the field, no problem whatsoever. Liam Rance still in P5, Frelick's in 6th, Parker 7th, Lexo 8th, Branton 9th, Faros actually 10th now, with Caneo behind him as well. So Faros, off that proper start, recovering nicely.
Someone who has had a very good part of the field is Tom Voss, up in P12. Where did he start? P30? He's massively come up that field. He's been really clean. That's exactly what he wants to do. Really good showing from Tom this time. And I don't think it's done yet, as he's got Caneo and Faros right in front of him. They're having a bit of a ding-dong battle. I think we could see Voss, as long as he keeps it clean. I think he's on for a top 10 finish here.
I agree with you there. He's a nice start, and he's in a good position here to capitalise. Get some decent points for the GPVWC Academy team. Obviously, it doesn't really matter so much points-wise to that team, but obviously, personally, it matters a huge amount more. They was coming into round 4th in the championship as a team, so great stuff there from the Academy team. It's been a long time since that's happened. But Fernandez breaking the toe down the straight. back at the front of the field. Hemmingson looking for a move down inside into turn 1, and he's up into P3. Straight past Herlock, same place as where De Vries moved last time around as well. Looking back further back as well. Frelick's up to 5th, past Liam Rance as well. Rance being the cork in the bottle down here. There's a lot of cars behind him, but now Rance looking to attack once again into turn 4, and Lance late on the brakes. Is he getting that place back? Let's find out. He's going around the corner, lock wheels a little bit, touch wheels as well. Parker's looking to attack as well. Get position. There was a little bit of rubbing there with him and Liam Rance. Parker gets back into position nicely. Liam Rance keeps that position, that P5 position nicely, as Lexo and Branson have fun and games behind them as well. So great battle here for 5th, and looks like that battle's going to grow with Faros on that little train as well. Close up into these next few laps. Rance drifts it into that hairpin once again. He's struggling a little bit through there, but great battling here, Jack, around Bahrain.
It's really good fight, and I was watching on board with Lexo there, and he looked like he was just setting it up on the exit of the S's there, but he just ran slightly wider and that compromised it, and Branton was all over the back of him as we had Tom Parker slide in there. But yeah, the 5 of them doing really good, keeping it clean as well, which is what you always like to see. However, Sven De Vries has now brought that second gap down to 3 tenths to Fernandez, and Hemmingson is only 7 tenths behind, so the top 3 now separated by 1.1 seconds, and I feel like Hemmingson's next lap definitely going to be in DRS range, and like I say before, I think we will see Hemmingson and De Vries battling it out for that top step of the podium before the end of this race.
So is Sven De Vries going to make it 3 wins out of 4 races, or is Hemmingson going to take the double? Let's find out. Or is Fernandez going to be the surprise package here? Wow, not after that, because De Vries is straight past once again. DRS has 3 moves in there in 3 laps, pretty much. That's Sven De Vries, I think.
You see the straight line speed. Sven had the straight line speed. There was no point defending. He'd only make it hard for himself. He's going to get through. All he wants to do now is see if he can stick to the back of De Vries and maybe keep on the DRS train with him. Hemmingson, of course, will want the other way around and want to get past him as soon as possible, because every second that he spends behind Fernandez now, De Vries is just going to pull away.
Let's find out how much De Vries can pull away now. He's in that clean air for the first time in this race. Goes out of the hairpin nicely there as well. Herlock's dropped back a little bit now, but P4, he'd still be delighted with that if he can hold on to that. Likewise, Liam Rance as well, still holding that P5. And further back, look at this lot. You've got Kaneo, Faros, Hoekstra, Tom Voss, Harvey, Stoffmeal. You've got Reichel as well. A whole train of cars have all built together. But Kaneo leads that train again in P10. And for Drive Game Seat, they had a rough first round of the season as well. But let's say some nice points on the board if they can stick there for the time being. There's some great battles all the way up down the field. It's difficult to keep up.
Faros has a good run on the back of Canio. Decides not to go for the overtake, just setting it up. I'd say he's setting it up for the DRS straight down into turn 1. That makes the most sense. At the same time, it's like the situation that Hoekstra was in before in race 1. He's got a massive train behind him, but he also wants to get past the car ahead. If he messes it up trying to get past the car ahead, he's going to be vulnerable, and that's what's happened here. Faros makes a mistake, and Hoekstra on the inside going into the final corner now. I don't think Hoekstra will get past, but he's got DRS. He's going to have a look anyway. Outbrakes him, keeps it clean, and he is through, and he's got the DRS for good measure.
Speaking of DRS, Martin Hemmingson goes up to P2. He's straight past Fernandez into turn 1. And the vital thing is, Sven De Vries has not bolted up that far up the road at all. It's still 6/10 gaps. So now game on at the front. De Vries versus Hemmingson for the first time this year. You're going to see these two toe to toe.
I feel like we're going to see this a lot this season. These two have just been the class above everyone else. You've still got Hoekstra, and obviously for this race you've got Lexo are all on that pace. But Hemmingson and De Vries, they've got a lot of experience in GPVWC, and obviously Hemmingson with Formula Challenge in general.
We've got to look further back because this battle for 6 is hotting up hugely. Rance has gone up the road a little bit, but it's 4 wide going into the turn 4. Crazy stuff. Branson, Parker, Lexo, Frelick, all scrapping away, trying to get these points positions. So I'll keep an eye on the battle at the front, but this battle between 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th are going. Oh, and Frelick's looking down the inside of Lexo. A little bit of contact there. But now they've both got DRS down and straight back to P8, hotting up here. And Lexo, after having a strong race in race 1, getting that P4 in the end. P8 again, if you get 4th and 8th in any of these FC races, that's a good amount of points to take away from an event. Not, probably not, obviously not the race win and podium that you're looking for, but, that's a solid amount of points that Nova will take away from Stephen Lexo in this event. Gap at the front still very stable. This 5-car battle for 5th position, what we're going to focus on for the time being at least.
I've just been focused on the leaders. Hemmingson did bring it down at 1 point to 6 tenths. He's just lost a bit in the middle sector and brought it to 7 tenths, but it's still in that vital DRS window. And at the same time, Fernandez is dropping back, but Herlock is closing in. Herlock is closing in on that podium, so I feel like going into the final few laps, we will have Hemmingson and De Vries. But at the same time, we can't forget about the Fernandez-Herlock, as I think Branton and Rance side by side for turn 2 on the exit. Rance on the inside. And Branton's got the outside line, so he should have better braking, but as long as Rance just holds it on the inside and gets that power down, he should get through. And that's exactly what he does, although good going for Branton, holding it around the outside there, but again, Rance is on the inside for the chicane, and they touch! Reminiscent of an accident in Super League Lights last year between Matthew Williams, and I can't think who else, but again, just trying to go side by side for that chicane, it never works. It's way too high risk and very little reward. There's no point. It's just, you don't want to lose out on that position, and sadly, selfishness kind of got to him there.
I don't want to say I saw it coming, but I could see it coming a mile away. You know, we see it time and time. We saw it last year, we saw it this year as well, a couple of times. And Liam Rance has now got no rear wing, and that is his chance of points gone. He's done so well as well, but people like it rough and tough at the, in the fight for points. You play with fire, you're going to get burned. Simple as. It's very, very difficult, and unfortunately, Liam Rance, he has been burnt.
Yeah. The problem is, really, though, it's not high points, If it was for the win or if it was a second, I'd understand a bit more. If it was third and fourth, I'd understand. But it's only 7th, it's only mid-pack. It's a matter of 1 or 2 points difference, There's no need to be going for such a high-risk overtake.
For a point here and there, I guess. But go back at the front, it's all hotting up. De Vries, Hemmingson,
Lexo on the outside of Parker now into turn 1, by the way. Sorry to cut you off there, David.
You're absolutely right.
Turn 1.
And I think Lexo's trying to get past Parker, but Parker defends masterfully there.
Lexo's got a great run out of turn 2.
Oh, it's been a disconnect, I think, in the mid-pack. Or could be it's just on my side. But Tom Voss, just to let you know, it's up to P8 from the back of the grid. Great stuff there from the young Dutchman. Battle 4 cars. You've got Hoekstra, Voss, Caneo, Frelick, all fighting away for P7 now. It's all kicking off. Parker and Lex having a great battle as well. So our eyes on Springs keeping up with everything. But I think for the GPVWC Academy team as well, Voss and Frelick having a nice little scrap there, but in the top 10, and Tom Harvey as well. After leading, having out the stake, he hasn't really gained any positions at all. I think he's gained a little bit of time, but not really positions so much. It's going to be difficult, but he's going to make his way up through a few more positions as well.
Yeah, looking at Lexa and Park, obviously they've fought up the whole grid together. They started near each other, and it's come this late into the race, 5th and 6th. They're still next to each other, so they've been fighting through whilst fighting each other, and that shows good racing, good racecrafts, to be getting through cleanly. Hemmingson has lost some time. I noticed the gap at one point was down to 4 tenths. It's now doubled to 8 tenths, and he's lost a bit of time, so there must have been a mistake somewhere, which could...
It's probably a dirty error as well. Martin Hemmingson has to face now, being up behind a car, and there's no real sort of overspeed difference for Hemmingson to make up for the rest of the lap, So if you're behind a car that's similar pace, and I think Sven de Vries has also put his foot down a little bit, setting the very, very fast lap. Actually, Martin Hemmingson actually set the fast lap in this race as well, 40.2, which is very impressive. Still quicker than last year's quality time as well, by the way. So very impressive pace they're showing here today with these upgraded cars from last year. Let's say De Vries looking... I don't think De Vries is looking on edge at all. I think he's still very comfortable as it stands. Hemmington's not really had the chance to make a move yet, has he? It's just De Vries just keeping on top of things for the time being.
As you were saying, the pace does seem quite similar. We know they've both got very similar pace. He doesn't have to take too much risk just yet. It's one thing catching, which Hemmington's going to do. It's quite obvious that. But it's another thing getting past. And De Vries is such a good racer, but Hemmington's such a good racer. So they're both having to think how to get past each other without taking each other out. And whatever happens, it is going to be a good battle, I feel, between them. And it's going to happen before the end of this race.
So, I say, we're looking at after this lap, 2 laps to go in this event. And De Vries looking good for 3 out of 4 here today. It's a great run of form he's had. Winning 2 race 2s on the trot is a difficult feat because both times, in his case, he's had to move his way up through the field past a lot of cars as well. So De Vries looking comfortable. Hemingson's going to do his damnedest to change all that, though. Freeze breaking the toe as well down the straight, making that job a little bit more difficult for Hemingson to close up as well. Further back as well, behind them, Fernandez has been caught a little bit by Dan Hurlock as well. 4/10 Hurlock gained in that last lap alone. And then behind them, we've just got these little battles all over the place. You've got Lexo and Parker still going at it. Behind them, you've got Hoekstra and P7 doing a nice job. And Tom Voss, definitely the mover of this race, 22 positions in this second race. Great stuff from him. He's in P8.
Frelick and Harvey have collided at turn 2. They went side by side going into it, and they just collided as they start turning. So Harvey's got races gone from really good to really bad within the last 14 laps. Obviously, you think at one point he was leading early on, and now he's found himself in P13.
Yeah, almost getting a nosebleed, almost being leading. Sometimes that pressure does get to you, even though you may be more self-consciously more than anything else. Your race or mentality changes. When you're leading, pressure does get to you sometimes without you even realising it at times. So it's
Hurlock's caught up to the back of Fernandez now as well for P3. I think Fernandez got a bit out of shape going into turn 10 there. Hurlock's got a very good switchback through turn 11. Not going to get through, I don't feel, here, but he's going to set himself really nicely for that start-finish straight.
Yes, I think Hurlock's looking very, very good. Chance for the podium, but it's going to be 1 lap to go very, very shortly, and De Vries still maintaining that gap to Hemingson. But looking back now for his battle for the podium, Fernandez is defending nicely, but DRS is going to be active now for Dan Hurlock as well. He's looking very, very good here. Take back 4 points. Obviously, he won in Canada last year. That was his first win at GPVWC in race 2, and he's now looking at a podium to his name now as he breaks on the racing line here, trying to get past the Spaniard. Audi gets a great exit, but can't quite do it. Fernandez holds on really, really well. He's going to get a second dose of DRS. Actually, I think Hurlock might have been ahead at the DRS line because Fernandez got it going into this straight as well. So Fernandez is good there. Back at the front, De Vries still maintain that gap. Hemingson's close a little bit. It's just very difficult now, Jack, isn't it? There's no real place to pass, is there?
It does look like Sven did. Yeah, De Vries did open up the pace in the last couple of laps, but Hemingson looks a lot closer now. He's that sector. He closed, I'm pretty sure, 2 or 3 tenths alone in sector 1 just then. He's all over the back of De Vries now. It's going to be very difficult to get past. But you never know. If just one slight mistake from De Vries, it doesn't make mistakes, but if he does now, then that could be the determining factor. Hemingson really on the limit of grip here. I don't think there's going to be a time to come. P3 as well, Hurlock doesn't look close enough either. I think that could be it. There's only one heavy braking zone left, and Hemingson's not close enough for that.
And De Vries, it's been a masterful drive of, attacking, passing, but also defending as well from Hemingson. Just being in that control, complete control pretty much from start to finish. And Sven De Vries is going to make it 3 wins out of 4 here at Formula Challenge, and he takes the victory here in race 2 in Bahrain as well. Great drive there from Sven De Vries. Martin Hemingson's going to come across line P2 as well, marking a great event for him. Fernandez does get a podium for Sompic there. P3 for him, P4 for Hurlock Santon Sports well. Stephen Lexo gets P5. And a great event for him for getting some great points there for Nova as well. Tom Parker in P6 having a much better day of it than he did in Australia. Holger Hoekstra in P7. Tom Voss in P8. A great drive from him from the back of the grid. Canera in P9 as well. Great points there for drive game seat as well. That helped them out a lot. That's Rosak in P10. Simon Frelick in 11th. Dion Branson in P12. Thomas Harvey gets grid line some points there as well. Mike Ball in 14th. Dan Hookrat gets the final point there for Friesland as well. Paul Gaslan ends the event for him pointless. P16. Max Reichel 17th. Bolko in 18th. Derek De Vries in 19th. Stoffmehl in 20th. Rebellion 21st. Sam Holt again pointless afternoon for him. P22. Luca Flask P23. Peter Jones in P24. Liam Rance P25 after a day that was looking so promising for him. Faros 26 and out. Rob Rusa out. And Amarado was DNF as well. Deacon Fairclough was out. Amari Watson bang unlucky there as well to be out after looking strong for points in race 2. And Delara also a very early retirement as well. But we predicted at the start of the year, Jack. We was talking before the season. Obviously, wasn't on broadcast together last week, but we were discussing this in detail. And De Vries and Hemmingsen looking very, very good here. And, that's just the start of things to come.
Exactly. Race 2, exactly what you'd expect from, to be honest. They do look the class of the field. They still won with a 6-second gap to P3, and they had to come further back. Hemmingsen done really well to come from that far back and was right at the back of De Vries at the end there. Both of them carved really well. But let's not forget Tom Voss, like I say, right at the very back of the grid, coming home P8. On his day, he can be really fast, and today he has been on his day. Maybe not so much race 1, but race 2, he turned it around, and I think that was a really good motivating drive from him today.
So that's rounded up Bahrain, and obviously got more of that in 2 weeks' time when we go to Istanbul. Great circuit there. Really looking forward to that. It's always great racing. And last year as well, particularly race 1, where Jono Holmes and Sandeep Singh as well, they were scrapping up for the win in the last few corners as well. On the edge stuff there as well, and Holmes took the win on that occasion as well. But to say, great racing there. We'll be looking forward to that. I think it's time as well now, if people are up for it, get a couple of interviews as well. I can see a couple of people already looking to come into the room. So I'm going to bring in Sven de Vries first of all here this evening after the perfect day out in Australia. He's made it 3 wins in 4 races here this evening. Sven de Vries, another great day for you. Obviously a bit of a awkward moment in the end of race 1. We saw on the broadcast there as well, but race 2, back to your brilliant best, pretty much, carving weight through the field and looking in complete control out in front as well. So another great day in the office for you, Sven.
Yeah, not half bad. You pretty much summed up my entire speech. But yeah, race 1 was a bit of a little disaster towards the end. Obviously had that 10 grip penalty on the grid, so coming from 11th, carving a little bit through the field was fun. I was on Discord with Wopke, and when him and Lexo touched as we were going onto the corner, he was yelling on Discord, so that distracted me, and I'll break myself and hit Lexo. So my apologies for that. I didn't let him by again. I figured that was the right thing to do. He said everything was okay after. Race 2 was a lot of fun. Yeah, just carving my way through the field, and after that, just making sure I could break the toe and managed to get to, what's his name, Martin?
Yeah, Martin Hemmingsen. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, good guy.
Yeah, I think I said at the start of the season, I think you two are going to be having some great battles together this year. So congratulations for tonight. Obviously, we hope that you are here all season, fighting, having great battles, and predict to take quite a lot of wins, would say, 3 wins out of 4. I mean, even though a lot of us were expecting you to do really well, was that probably better than you expected to after these first 2 rounds? Would you say?
Probably. I mean, winning 3 out of 4 races is obviously better than you anticipate up front. So so far so good. I almost was a little disappointed that the dirty air was so bad. I was really hoping for the fight with Martin in race 2. So maybe next time.
Say 2 weeks time at Istanbul as well. So expect some more great battles between you, Martin, and the rest of the field. But for now, Sven, obviously you take a comfortable championship lead. Congratulations on tonight, and hopefully we'll be speaking to you in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Thanks. Have a good one.
No worries at all. I think what we're going to do now is going to bring in team boss of Neptune, I think, because his team took their first GPVWC win here this evening. Rodrigo Carvalho, I think, speaking on behalf of Martin. I know Martin's not the most social, with respect to him, the most social person for interviews. So, Rodrigo, great event for you. Your first win as a team here this evening, for Neptune. It's a bit of mixture of good and bad this evening, probably fair to say, but to say, you can take some great positives from today.
First of all, hello, David. Hello, Jack. Yes, I'm very happy because of the result. Martin make a brilliant job today. About Paul, it happens. He was on a bad day. He have pace, but everything goes wrong with him, unfortunately. So next race, I hope he can make a better result. But If people don't know, this is first win by a Brazilian team, Sakhir Leather. So we make history today, and I am very glad that we training a lot, we prepare a lot, Martin and Paul for the race, and the results is here. Martin make podium in 2 races, he win, he dominate basically the race one. He almost make also a win in race two, but then he make a very good job defending his position. So, but I have nothing to talk wrong or I'm very happy today, David.
I can imagine, it's been a lot of hard work. Obviously, we talked to you quite a lot, in the last few months and so, how much hard work and effort you've been putting into the team. So I'll say I'll be the first one to congratulate you on that as well. Do you think, obviously, we don't know the championship standings going forward for the team, but, does that set a good benchmark for you going forward now? Obviously, Paul this evening had a very rough day today. But do you think, from a points perspective, it's a sort of target you're aiming for? You took away provisionally at least 45 points today as a team. That'll put you at quite a few places in the championship. So is that something you'd look for yourself to build on?
Of course, we can make more points, but I thought what will happen with Paul, it happens because he make a decent quality. You have a lot of potential to make a top 10, maybe a top 5 also, because you have the pace for that. But I still believe he will make better races in the next rounds, and we have a very good chance to win the constructors, and Martin have a good chance to win the championship as a driver. People expect that from Martin, and he is calm and precise, and I know he can do that. I don't put any pressure on him. He knows that he have the pace for that. So, and I see that not just my team lose points today. I see that other teams also lose points on the race. It was a bit of chaotic in some situation from some drivers today, and I glad that this happened because in the end we are rivals and we want to win the constructors championship. So.
Fingers crossed, but say today's been a great night for you, and I'll maybe be celebrating with Martin. Hopefully, congratulations for tonight, and hopefully we hear from you and Martin later on in the year as well. But for now, Rodrigo, congratulations, and we'll be hopefully speaking to you soon. That was smart. Didn't hear that. I'm going to do one more interview, actually, making up for last week, actually, Wupke Hoekstra as well. I did promise him to give him a little bit of the airtime as well after making up for last week. Wupke, it's been a bit of a mixed bag for you, really. You've had the race win of last week and, some solid points finishes as well. Obviously, tonight was a decent event without being overly spectacular. A bit of one or two incidents here and there, but to say, how would you rate tonight's out of 10, would you say? How would you rate it for yourself?
That's a difficult question. I guess like 8.
Yeah.
Because pace-wise it was good, and racing-wise it was good. I had a good few battles with some people, and but yeah, not perfect, of course, with some incidents. So no 10, but like 8, because the results are pretty good, and improvement from last event as well, so that's good.
Yeah, as well. Obviously, you had a bit of a rough incident last time out, but I say, obviously, you're still seen as a reserve driver for now. And I say, we've talked about it personally. 1-to-1, we said, should we go full time? Maybe after tonight, do you think, if you look at yourself where you are in the standings now, I say, would you think you give FC a crack for the full year now? Would you say?
Yeah, that's definitely on the cards now, and I'm talking with the team boss already. So I think it's going to be a full season for us, and as long as no shit happens again. Oh, sorry for my language. As long as no weird stuff happens again, like last event. I mean, if that would keep happening, then of course I can still quit. But I don't expect that to happen ever again. So it should be all good for the full season now.
You're not here to quit. Oh, what? Keen, motivate yourself. You know, it's a long slog, but come on, we don't want you to quit again, man. We say we want to see you around, and you know, you gave a great account of yourself the first 2 rounds. You know, fingers crossed we're seeing more of you as the season goes on. So you know, for Hamming's team as well. But for tonight, obviously we've seen a couple of weeks' time in Istanbul, and for tonight, obviously, nice job, well done, and best luck for the rest of the season as well.
Yeah, thank you. See you.
So I think on that note, I think we're going to call the interviews there as well. Jack, it's been great having you here for tonight. You know, say well done for your first proper time commentating, shall we say. You know, we've done a few bits and pieces in the past, but well done for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's been good. I think, to be fair, you've kind of carried it, and I've just been there to support and correct you. But you know what? I've enjoyed it.
I think, to be fair, if you look in I think if people was to comment now about how you've done something for the first time, I'd say you've done a bloody good job. So well done. Well done for that, Jack. And say, we're looking forward to having you in the box, hopefully for the rest of the year. Next broadcast will be next Tuesday for Super Cup. As well, again, here in Bahrain as well. And then you obviously got Super League Light, Super League Wednesday and Thursday as well. And then, as I mentioned, the Academy Series as well, April the 14th will be at Baku for more shenanigans there as well, I'm pretty sure. But I say, it's been a great event racing. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And I say, on that note, we're going to call it a night on broadcast. Thanks to Sandeep Singh as well for providing the broadcast as well on your screens at home. And I say, with all the effects that's going around the world as well, I hope you all keep safe, all keep well, stay at home, everyone. Just carry on sim racing. You know, it's been a great week for sim racing. Yes, let's face it. You know, it's been very, very a great growth of interest around the world for sim racing as well. So I hope you all keep involved. And until next time, you'll be hearing from me and Jack in 2 weeks at Istanbul. You take care, guys. Bye for now.